He calls himself Novice Wild Camper, a man who walks into the woods alone, not for thrill, not for fear, but for peace. He camps in places most of us would never dare set foot in, remote, silent, hidden. And while he may call himself a novice, the way he moves, the way he prepares, shows a deep respect for the forest and everything that might be in it. On this night, he wasn't chasing ghosts. He wasn't looking for anything unusual, just another quiet night in the wild. But the forest had other plans. Because what started as a peaceful campfire under the stars quickly turned into something else. Something he couldn't explain, and something he'll never forget.
Very nice just sitting there listening to the sounds of the woods. And a bloody motorbike. Right, well it is well and truly dark now, so I'm going to go and get the fire on, and then I'm going to get some food, sit by the fire and have a little snack. They're like almost like a strawberry fruit flavour. Right.
After lighting his fire, quickly, effortlessly, just like he always does, the footage cuts. But moments later, we're no longer in the forest. We're in his car. It's dark, and he's visibly shaken. Something happened out there, and now he's ready to tell us what it was.
Well, I'll be honest, this is the first time I've ever done this. I'm actually sitting back in my car now. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. It was forecast to be dry all night long, and 3 o'clock it just started hammering it down with rain. That's not the issue. I sort of fell asleep to the sound of chestnuts crashing through the trees and hitting the deck. And it's the same sound every time, sort of crunch, 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 thump. After the rain started, I could just hear, and I know these are deer, muntjac, badgers, squirrels, whatever, but some crashing around that got nearer and nearer and nearer to my hammock. And every time I moved or got out to check, it stopped but didn't run away. So I'd expect if there was a deer or something, I'd hear it run off. But the weirdest thing was, the rain started to die down. So it was just a tiny pitter-patter. And suddenly by my hammock, a massive, massive thud hits the ground and bounces. And I jumped up, unzipped it, put my torch on, and there's a rock on the floor that wasn't there when I went to bed. And I lay back down, and I'm just laying there listening. Then another one. And then another one. This went on 3 or 4 times at least. And then a large branch. There was no crack. There wasn't like a crack and then a crash. Just a large branch hit my tarp. It bounced the tarp down onto the hammock and then bounced off the tent. And every time I jumped up and got out, there was no movement, there was no nothing. Now, I don't know what it was.
Shaken by what happened, he decides to spend the night in his car. But when morning comes, he knows he has to go back. Still, one thing keeps gnawing at him. He doesn't know what it was.
But this was not enjoyable. Not in the slightest. I've never actually had shivers run up my spine before. But last night, it was like someone had run a feather from my feet to my neck, where I just tingled. It was weird. But even just now, before I turned the camera on, things are just crashing down around me. It's all quiet then.
But the thought wouldn't leave him. The not knowing. The unanswered question, what was out there that night? So after some time, he goes back to the place that made him tremble. This time he's prepared, and what he discovers will send a chill down your spine, because even he could feel it. Something was still there.
Quite a steep climb it is getting up here. So I think I'm heading the right way. I believe it's over there and off to the right, which is where I was last time, I think.
Back at the place that once filled him with fear, he knew he had to do things differently. This time he came prepared. He set up a thermal camera to watch the forest in ways the human eye never could, and as he stared into the screen, what he saw left him speechless, because some things shouldn't be there.
Mice and things dotted about. Nothing around there. Fuck is that? There's 2 fucking handprints. Just put my torch on. That wasn't there 2 seconds ago. I swear that wasn't there. There's 2. I keep seeing like a flash of light. It's like as the camera comes around, it disappears. See there? Look. Back to my hammock. That's freaked me out. That's hands. What the fuck's that behind it? Something moving behind the tree. Fuck was that? There's another fucking hand mark on there.
The night passed without incident. No footsteps, no sounds, no stone thrown through the dark. Still, he watched, hour after hour, scanning the trees through the thermal lens, hoping to catch a glimpse of whatever, or whoever, had been there before. But nothing showed itself, and to this day, what happened that night remains a mystery, and I can't help but wonder. If I were in his place, how would I have reacted? It's clear someone was out there with him, and that thought alone is terrifying. What about you? What would you have done? Let us know in the comments below. Most of us love nature, but Grizzly Gaz? He's one of the truly obsessed. He's always out exploring the wild, never alone, always accompanied by his fearless French Bulldog, Frenzy. His vlogs are different. His style is different. Charming, charismatic, a storyteller with a sharp sense of humor. But on one of his trips, things took a strange and unexpected turn. It was a night so dark he could barely see what was in front of him. Deep within the forest, hoping for yet another peaceful evening under the stars, Gaz decided to go on a short walk with Frenzy. That's when the forest started to change. Strange noises, and a growing sense that they weren't alone. The mysteries of the woods can be terrifying, and Gaz was about to experience that firsthand. So are we.
Getting a bit hungry now, so I think I'm gonna get fire lit up and get them pork steaks on. I think I've got some lamb kebabs and all. Get them on and all. What do you say, mate? Not bothered. She will be bothered though when she smells it. Ooh, don't you just love a good fire? Ooh, look at that, eh? Pork steaks, lamb kebabs. What do you think, mate? Bet you can't wait for them, can you, kid? Dying to get tucked into them. Old Tucker Harris. Right, beautiful. Spot on that, spot on. Suppose you'll want some and all, won't you? Yeah then. There we are. Lamb and mink kebabs. You gonna tell me a ghost story or what? Don't know how I've ended up with shit end at stick. Look. I'm on dog's bed with dog's blanket. She's in my bed, look. What's all that about, mate? You've been kicked out of my own bed. Just thought we'd come out for a little bit of a wander in the dark. No, can't see out. Hold on. Pitch black. Oh, sorry. Gonna see if there's. I had some kids earlier just running about, messing about. So if I find them, I'm gonna put me my little blue lights on. Do this. Walk through woods going woo 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 woo.
In the forest, you're never truly alone. What I heard, it sounded like a bobcat. But forests are strange places, and sometimes much darker things may be lurking. It could have been a wolf circling the area, or maybe something else, something far more sinister. Unfortunately, we may never know the truth. Not even Gaz could figure out what it was. What do you think it was? Let us know in the comments. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. It's completely free, and you can always change your mind later. This next video comes from the channel Exploring with Bears, where Jer, an experienced outdoorsman, often finds himself in the middle of terrifying encounters. On his endless quest to uncover the creepiest corners of nature, he set up camp deep in the forest, under the cover of night, as a fierce wind howled through the trees. But that wasn't the scary part. The real fear began when the wind suddenly stopped, and from the shadows, strange sounds began to echo through the darkness, circling his campsite like predators waiting to strike. Because when the forest falls silent, that's when you should be ready for the worst.
I mean, earlier with the door opening and closing and everything, just too much cold air going in and out. It is so much creepier out here at night when you're all alone. I don't know if you guys seen last week's video, not part one of this one, but last week's, there was a light that I captured at nighttime back in the woods here. There shouldn't be nothing back there, just trees. I'm gonna have to get a good flashlight out here so you guys can see. This one you can't even see back in there. Let's get that tent heated up. It's pretty cool. You can hear like the wind starting way down there, and you can hear it like coming all the way up through, and like even when it goes up over you, it's pretty cool. You can hear it coming. You guys hear that? Sounds like somebody whistling. And that's impossible. I mean, not impossible, but highly improbable. That's a tree squeaking. Sounds like something walking.
As you saw, there didn't seem to be anything around Jer's campsite, so, hoping for some rest, he returned to his tent, trying to sleep through the night. But just when things felt calm, the sounds returned. Strange, unsettling, echoing once again through the trees, as if something was still out there, watching.
Something was scratching the tent. And it walked halfway around it, scratching. Something's walking out there. Better to be ready.
Of course, now we're all wondering, what was circling Jer's tent that night? Well, this time we're not left in the dark, because we do have an answer. But before we reveal what it was, pause the video and tell us in the comments what you think it could be. If you enjoy stories like these, and you've experienced something strange yourself, feel free to share it with us. You can send your story to the email address in the video description. We might just feature it in a future episode. Now, let's move on to our final story. This one comes from Jake Travis, posted on his channel, The Hoggett Project, a channel dedicated to the raw, unpredictable world of outdoor camping. In this video, Jake shares a chilling night spent at Tinkham Campground, just off I-90 in Washington State. At first, everything felt normal, but once the sun went down, the forest began to speak. And what Jake heard that night was anything but ordinary.
As much firewood as I thought I'd need. That's usually what you do. So that's what I got. Went back to the vehicle. I have this Carhartt here. And this thing's tough, you know. So I think what I'm gonna do is just lay it down on the ground right there to keep these legs from sinking into the ground. Yeah, it's looking good. I kind of like how it's open out that way too. Lets a little bit of light into these woods. That way, cannot see a thing. And I don't think I was recording earlier, but something made a heavy sound over there. Could have just been some old rotted logs settling. But up that way, a couple miles, there is a camp, but I don't think anybody's hiking this way back down. Anywho, I've heard that the red lamp keeps the bugs away. don't know if that was me or something over there. Definitely something over there.
Documenting my experience and why I'm leaving. It's basically, it was all set up, it was getting dark, I had just gathered all the firewood. I had run back to the vehicle to grab my Carhartt jacket. Right about that time, as I sit down, I hear some noise. And I thought that my keys have hit the chair a certain way. And as I'm thinking about it, I'm about to go about my business, then I hear behind me where the creek is, about only 50 feet, I hear a couple more loud crunches. And that's when I stand up and I just shine the forest. Of course the noise has stopped, and I'm guessing whoever it was, it found a good spot to lay low. I didn't see any eyes blowing back, didn't see any movement, other than I did see a bat. But definitely that is not what made the loud noises. In all this, I probably shined the light on the forest for a good 3 to 4 solid minutes. Nothing. And I said, okay, and I'm thinking I'll go back to just doing what I'm doing. But this is the second occurrence. Probably about a half an hour before that, I heard it up the hill. This time it's down parallel with me. I scouted the woods when it was daytime, just so I can get a good idea of what's around me. It's not really easy terrain to maneuver in. And anywho, I sat there for a minute and I was just thinking, okay, do I go ahead with the fire? And I was like, I'm not scared right now, but I'm also thinking maybe I'm too close to the stream. That's going to attract the animals coming to get a drink. All that said, I decided to pack up camp. I was like, I don't know if I'll have fun now. Then the other one out here, and it was really dark back in these woods. Getting all packed up, and once I get out to the road, I just take a quick look up towards where the creek is, and this is where it gets terrifying. And I thought I had pressed record, but it was not recording. But anywho, I've got my low beam on at this point. I think I see something small. Maybe it's like a raccoon or something right there by the water. And as I hit the high beam, this is when I see it. I see something standing there on the side of the road, pretending to be a statue. Whatever this was, decided it was just going to freeze, and then maybe I wouldn't think it was anything. But as I'm looking in that direction, I'm not even kidding, it looks like somebody dressed up in camo. And they've got their back slightly angled away. I'd say like at a 45 degree. They're standing there about 6 feet tall, looking like a human that I just caught that was probably sneaking up on me. That's all I can think. When I saw what it was, the human, and I kept the light on him for a good 20 solid seconds without saying anything. The fear just kind of washed over me because I'm thinking, what's gonna happen? Call them out like, hey, what are you doing? And they're all camoed out. Maybe they'll just say, oh crap, he caught me, now I'm gonna shoot him. I mean, we're out in the middle of the woods. They say that people are the ones to fear. It's not the animals. That is what happened, and eventually after the 20 seconds, he didn't move, he just kept standing there. So I just pretended like, oh, maybe I didn't see you then. On my way out, periodically I'd turn back, check. Nope, didn't see him, he's gone. And that's that. Very, very strange, and I don't know what the plan was for me if I'd stayed there. It just seems kind of silly. I thought I found a good spot, but yeah, this place is kind of riddled with people. And I don't know what the future holds now.
As you've just heard from Jake's story, his feeling that someone was out there with him was overwhelming. It wasn't just a thought. It was something he felt through his entire body. That fear that someone or something might emerge from the darkness of the forest and come straight toward you, hits like a freight train. But Jake's story didn't end in mystery, because the shadowy figure he spoke of, it was caught on camera. Let's take a look. That was seriously unsettling. We're just glad Jake made it out safe. And remember, if you ever feel that creeping fear, don't stay. Always be aware of your surroundings, especially when you're deep in the woods. That's it for today's episode. If you enjoy this kind of creepy content, make sure to subscribe and tap the notification bell. Drop us a comment too. It helps this video reach more mystery lovers like you. Until next time, stay safe out there.